We're down to the final 2 months before the presidential election, and the race is up for grabs. Both the Harris and the Trump campaigns are planning a mad dash to the finish line, but the real race only comes down to just a handful of swing states. I've got Farron Cousins with me to talk about that. Farron, it is a mad dash. You're seeing, God, the money on for both parties we're going to talk about that today, but I've never seen this amount of money being pumped in an election like this. I guess I have, but it's been a while.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Bush. You saw this huge surge in the last 8 or 9 weeks, Anyway, so what's up with the swing states right now?
Well, we don't know. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it depends on which poll you look at.
I know.
Because we've got some polls that show that, Harris has pulled ahead in, 6 of the 7. Other polls showed, nope, she's only ahead in 3. Trump is winning in the other 4.
You can't make any sense out of it,
No poll is giving us the same result as the other polls. So it is, and look, we talked about this in the run-up to 2020. Remember, we were covering the polls every week, mostly due to the fact that none of this is consistent. None of this seems to be reliable.
No, it does. It's not.
And
it's like, it doesn't remind you, it reminds you of the Hillary cycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hillary, she's going to win. The polls are showing she's going to win. She's ahead in the swing states. Everything's good. And then Donald Trump, of course, Hillary wins popular vote by 3 million votes. Swing states kill her.
Yeah.
This has that feel right now. I'm telling you, it really does have that feel.
Yeah. I think the only difference, and I think the Harris campaign's aware of this, is what Hillary did was nothing.
Yeah.
She didn't go to Wisconsin. She didn't go to Michigan.
Yeah.
She's ignoring, I've got this in the bag.
Right.
Just this overall horrible arrogance.
It was terrible
from that
arrogance,
campaign.
yeah.
And I think Harris's campaign understands, listen, we can't make these mistakes that she made. She destroyed her campaign by taking the voters for granted, by acting like they don't matter.
Yeah.
And this guy was out there at some points doing 2 and 3 rallies per day.
The energy was amazing.
Now, he doesn't have it this time.
Yeah. But I got to tell you something. I feel the same kind of things I'm seeing with the polls.
Yeah.
The Democrats, obviously, they're Democrat folks want everybody to believe everything's okay, which I think is a mistake. I think they ought to do just the opposite.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be saying your candidate is ahead. They should be saying your candidate is in trouble. Your candidate needs your help. Go out there and do something about it. Same way with Trump. They feel like, oh my God, if we put a poll up there and it shows you're ahead, then you've won the election. It's just ridiculous kind of thinking, but you see it every time. These pollsters, I've never even heard of most of them, Farron. They're popping up like little weasels all over the place, and they're a name you've never heard. I did a poll, and the poll shows that my person Harris is ahead or my person Trump is ahead. I don't think it helps to say you're ahead. Right. I think you want to say this is a tough race. We're not ahead, and we got to do something about it.
Right. And, you're absolutely right about these, really random groups popping up like, hey, look at our poll. Because I've read so many of those. I say, well, who did this? Who the hell is this?
Exactly. Exactly.
You've got these random universities that are not known for doing polls.
Yeah.
Putting out these polls and survey. Monmouth, they've been doing it for decades. They get it.
Yeah.
Reuters and AP, I trust them. Everybody else,
you know what they're doing, Farron? I saw an article where you've got somebody's in political science, for example, and they're maybe doing a graduate term in political science. They're people that are being asked to go out and do this. They're saying, I'm going to do this to kind of pump up my degree or whatever it may be. They're popping up all over the damn place, and it's insane because they don't understand it doesn't really help to go out there and say, my candidate's well ahead. They're 5 points ahead. Everything's good. I think it's the most destructive thing you can do for either party.
Right. And not to mention, too, when you look at the sample sizes of most of these polls, most of them are sticking to around 1,000 people.
I know.
So when you're talking about a swing state that has 15 million, 20 million people, you cannot get an accurate representation from 1,000 people who agreed to take your... No, it just polling today is not what it was 20 years ago. It's not what it was 30 years ago.
Well, Trump, his talking points are, I'm doing really well with Hispanic voters and black men. And he says that based on 3 or 4 polls that were done And we don't know what that means. We don't know whether they're real or not. They're almost useless. I mean, they literally are almost useless now. The American public is hugely divided on every issue according to the media. But the truth is that the public actually agrees on most issues. The media sells division to this country. They do it to juice their ratings. They do it to make more money. This is all about money. Let's divide the country and we're going to make more money doing it. I'll tell you what, this was handled by, I think, one of the most, by a formidable progressive. Wrote for Axios.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this is obviously they did what Les Leopold had also done. They're looking at the numbers. They're stripping politics away from it because politics is divisive. But when you look at what people actually think, what they want, and what they believe, pretty much everybody agrees on almost everything. I mean, huge majorities, left, right, and center, agree that, hey, it's okay to let immigrants come into this country. Hey, it's okay for people to own guns. Hey, it's okay for you to have your own religion,
or to be gay. Yeah, it's okay. Right. That's what most people believe. But the media takes these talking points, and this is a media creation. They take these talking points from these fuzzy thinking, hysterical fringe types. Well, on the left, it's the snowflake fringe. Everything they read on a headline they're going to accept. On the right, it's the snowflake fringe that buys into everything. And here's what we miss. These are people that watch either Fox or they watch MSNBC and CNN. That is all they live by, baby. That's all they understand. Fortunately, it's less than 2% of the population in America. Less than 2% of these snowflakes are out there watching MSNBC saying, oh my God, this is the new talking point. And it just perpetuates itself, right?
And look, the problem is with these networks that, again, only 2% of the country, between the two of them, actually watch.
By the way, between the two, that's right.
But the problem is the people who make the decisions about our daily lives, those folks in Washington, D.C., they watch these.
Yes.
And they get fed the division and they help spread the division, right? Your Republicans are going on Fox, your liberals are going on MSNBC, and each side is saying, these people are evil over here. No, you're evil over here. And then when these networks push their agenda, whether it's to help their advertisers get another war contract or help Big Pharma kill legislation, those lawmakers who only tune into those programs, they buy into it. So it is a small portion that watches this. Unfortunately, it's the powerful people.
If we do a show, the big mouths, the real snowflake big mouths, will show up in the comments. If you look at the comments compared to the likes are huge. But the comments, you may have 100 people who are just rabid. They can't control them. I've got to respond to this. And the response generally is being driven by what they've seen on either Fox for, when you do a show or when I do a show, it's what they watch on MSNBC and CNN. Papantonio's a Trump guy. Farron is a crazy a crazy communist.
Yeah.
Because this is what the media tells them to say.
Yeah.
The only good news is it's less than 2% of the population that fall into that, what I call real snowflake class. When we get the reports from our folks that follow this, you don't even have to read the comment. The first two lines, you understand, they're watching MSNBC, CNN, that's all they're watching. Or with you, they're watching Fox, that's all they're hearing. And so we just have to rise above it, don't we? We can do better than that. People believe we have a right to vote. They believe that in equal protection of the law. They believe that there's a right to freedom of religion, that there's a right to freedom of speech, that there's a right to privacy. That's what most Americans, those types of things, what most Americans believe. But you have the crazy fringe that feed on all of this. I don't know, get a damn job. What do you want to say? Go get a job, do something besides sit in front of the damn computer.
Well, the media wants us to be divided between, you and your neighbor, because if you're not, if you realize how much you have in common with that person next door to you that is a different, political affiliation, realize how much you have in common, then you'll realize, well, wait a minute, then who should we be mad at? You should be mad at those corporations. You should be mad at those politicians that are basically keeping these networks alive.
Yeah.
That's why they sell you division. Go hate this person so that you don't hate the person funding my campaign or my network.
I call them chatter monkeys. It's like James Carville, the chatter monkey of all chatter, coming on the air and telling young people that they're stupid, that they're lazy. Like that's going to really help them turn out. But it's this chatter monkey mentality, man, and it's just getting worse. It's just getting worse.
It really is.
That's all for this week. But all these segments are going to be posted right here on this channel in coming weeks. Make sure you subscribe. I'm Mike Papantonio, and this has been America's Lawyer, where we tell you stories every week that corporate media just can't tell you because their advertisers don't allow them to tell you, or their political connections, they don't allow it because if you're too Republican, you got to color inside the Republican lines. If you're too Democrat, God knows you better not color outside the Democrat line. But we don't worry about coloring outside the lines. Hopefully we'll see you next week.